bum, bum,
Bum, bum,
ba-da-dum,
bum, bum.
Yeah, not the greatest bendy on what was after a frustrating weekend here on a Monday, but glad to be back with you with lasers and everything. Welcome to another edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. I am Marcus Grant with Greg Bergman, Parker Bell, and as always on a Monday, it is Clint Pacius. Fellas, it wasn't great on the field. There are a lot of other good things we can talk about. Otani pitched well. AllStars were named. On the whole, Clint, your feeling on.
Listen, I'm just surprised to see you guys feeling this chipper in the morning. We got a mediocre bendy and all of that after the Astros came into town and swept the Dodgers. There are a few things you could point at and be like, all right, I got some positive things to build on, but on the whole, just not a great weekend for the Dodgers.
Yeah, and if I never have to see Christian Walker again, it'll be too soon. That dude, my God, he's amazing at Dodger Stadium. He's amazing, and he just continued to be amazing at Dodger Stadium over the weekend. It's nuts.
Yeah, absolutely nuts. But I don't know if you guys caught it on one of the, I think it was Friday, which I tapped out pretty early in Friday's game, thankfully. Joe Davis was mentioning that I guess Christian Walker has a favorite Italian restaurant somewhere in downtown LA that he always eats at. And funny. Joe was not willing to reveal what the restaurant is unless somebody goes. And I'm like, Joe, for the sake of the ball club, for the sake of the organization, we need to know where Christian Walker eats so we can disrupt his routine some sort of
Leave
way.
the cannoli, you know what I'm saying?
Or we send Dodgers players there. Look, you got Kike Hernandez's optometrist, you got Max Muncy's chiropractor, and then you got Christian Walker's Italian restaurant. All of a sudden, I mean, that's a guaranteed World Series team, right?
Yeah.
I think that's how it works.
It would seem to be that way. But it was a tough weekend for the Dodgers. They do get swept by the Astros, get absolutely just hammered on Friday night, lose kind of a closer one on Astros win going day. I mean, Parker, when I looked at this weekend on the whole, I think the big thing that stood out to me, I don't know about you, but it was just sort of a reinforcement to me that for as much as we've been praising the Dodger pitching staff for sort of cobbling things together, it does feel like when they face a true World Series contender, Parker, that they're going to need some more arms than what they've got right now.
More arms is right. I mean, you look at the Independence Day slaughter. I don't even know if we really can count that. I mean, there comes a certain point where it's just like you're almost throwing away a game. But I really want to focus on, because listen, Ben gave up 9 hits, 6 runs, I think, over 3 innings.
Yeah,
that's Benny C's been killing it all season. So I really don't want to be too down on him for that specific game. But you look at Saturday, Robletsky coming in after Otani. I think that's what really got me just a little upset over this weekend. I don't know if maybe Greg, you have a little more insight on it, but the 4 earned runs, I think, in 4 innings, after seeing what Shohei did, that part maybe kind of hurt me.
So I think what you're talking about is all very important to look at. Was the pitchers that threw in this series and didn't pitch well are all pitchers that are not going to really be an important piece to the puzzle when it comes to October. Ben Kasperius maybe, but not as a starter. This isn't what his role is going to be. He's going to go back to what he's been doing in the past where he was good. But besides that, it was Noah Davis not going to be a factor. Then it was, Justin Robletsky could be a long relief role, but also you may not carry 2, especially when you have so many starting pitchers that are going to be coming back that are probably going to move into that spot. So it's either going to be Benny C or Robo that are going to kind of get knocked out of that. The pitchers over this weekend, besides Shohei Otani, are just not going to factor into anything that is going to matter. So that kind of makes me feel a little bit better about this weekend. It was just a bunch of dudes out there. Sheehan maybe, but even that, I can't imagine that he's going to be someone that's going to be the starter in the postseason. And he was good. He was good, by the way.
He was solid. Definitely not somebody who, if he's starting games for the Dodgers, something went wrong. Of course, having Tanner Scott enter the game yesterday, give him a couple solo shots.
Hated that.
Not ideal.
Not great.
Just to really cap off, like getting our face dragged in the mud or something like that. But yeah, that's the important thing. Is we know help is on the way. It just sucks that it had to happen against the Astros, where all of the guys who are going to be unimportant to this team in October happen to put up like their worst outings in a few weeks.
Yeah. On the bright side of things, though, Clint, the birthday boy Shohei Otani, he had a hit late in the ball game, pitched really, really well. Maybe his best outing so far. He's been pretty good so far, obviously in very limited stints, but struck out the side in the second inning. So it does feel like Otani is starting to ramp up. We'll see if they stretch him out, but Clint, I do feel like there's a lot of progress happening with Shohei on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, I know people have some frustrations about, like, why isn't he going longer? Why are they like slow playing him? Like, this is the plan. Be happy that this is happening. He's pitching at all. You have to love what you're seeing out of Otani on the bump. I mean, the dude looks nasty. He mixed in a few just absolutely filthy sweepers in there. That is one of your top guys. That is going to be an ace for this ball club when you get to October time, when you, like we're talking about here, facing a team that is likely going to be a World Series, potential World Series matchup. Knowing that what Shohei has in his back pocket is pretty impressive on the mound. You need to get the bat going again. I'm an advocate for maybe give him a day. I think the dude is working really, really, really hard right now, doing what usually has never been done in baseball, and build up as a pitcher while you're also leading off for the team and all that kind of stuff. But loved everything about Shohei on the mound on Saturday.
Yeah, it's funny. I did pay attention. I was there in person on Saturday, just kind of went as a fan. And one thing I really paid attention to was after that first inning, he gets through the inning, with no runs scored. And I know a big deal has been made about the fact that when he leads off an inning after he's been pitching, that the strikeout numbers were high for him. So I paid attention to that. He popped up. I just wanted to see if he was going to.
Wasn't a strikeout.
Was not a strikeout, and that's kind of what I was looking for. I was like, is he going to strike out? No, he popped up. So I guess that's progress in its own way. And to your point, Clint, people may be complaining about why they aren't stretching him out. Remember, he's ahead of schedule, right? Because the original indication was that he wasn't going to pitch until after the All-Star break. So here it is. You've got 4 starts out of him so far before the All-Star break. So in a lot of ways, he is very much ahead of schedule with the Dodgers right now. I'm trying to find some positives from the weekend. Anything else on the field?
I got you.
All right, go.
I got some positives for you.
Go, please.
Look, Greg being the positive one.
Look at
this.
This is weird.
What's happening? What is happening?
Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is a positive to me.
Okay.
He is starting to hit the ball well. He is starting to. He's not just popping things into the air. Even when he is getting out, they are fly balls to deep center field, left field, whatever it happens to be. He's starting to hit the ball much, much better. That made me feel much better. I know Freddie wasn't all that great in this series, but he has started to hit in July. He's hitting the ball much, much better. So the guys at the top are kind of, I don't worry about Shohei. Shohei's going to figure himself out. That's just who he is. But those two were kind of scuffing along throughout June. And really for Mookie, it was for the last year. And now he is starting to kind of find himself. So that to me is a massive, massive positive. And also the bottom of the lineup, Miggy Rowe stepping in for Muncy, getting hits like that. Look, the bottom of the order, the 9th spot has been a plus for quite some time now. So those are massive positives for me.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, man, Miggy Rowe stepping up and swinging the bat well is definitely a big plus for this team. By the way, the last time we were here all together, we didn't have an update on Max Muncy. The update right now is bone bruise. They're looking at about 6 weeks.
So lucky. I mean, the last time we saw Muncy, when he left the field, it looked like we might not be seeing. So yeah. The fact that they are hopeful that he will be back this year and relatively soon, that is a huge, huge positive for this team. And also, Clint, means they don't necessarily have to look at making look, they're going to make some deals at the deadline, but the idea that Muncy's coming back means that they don't have to go out and try to scramble to get a third baseman either right now.
Yeah. If we're taking that approach, I'm kind of a little wondering if maybe this team does still need a little bit more help, because you still have right now. You add in Tommy Tanks is injured. Teoscar Hernandez injured, both dealing with little nagging injuries. Muncy's going to be out for the bare minimum, the month and a half, and then he's got to ramp up and get going again. You don't really have a necessarily great third base contingency plan if he doesn't, get back into Muncie form in September. You also don't really have a great third base contingency plan in 2026, 2027. This is something I've been complaining about online on my channel the last couple of days. So now I'm bringing this to you guys. So I could just keep spreading the whole word of, I think it wouldn't hurt them if the right deal can come into place for some sort of big-ish name. They have the tools, they have the talent, they have the assets to go out and make an addition happen. Somebody to ultimately still be better than Michael Conforto. I would not be offended to see that. I keep mentioning Jose Ramirez, get him out of Cleveland. Let's bring him to LA. He's somebody who can play some third, play some second base, even though obviously Hassan Kim, there's a positive for you.
Oh,
he looked phenomenal,
fantastic
at second base. But I would love to see some sort of unexpected, shocking blockbuster activity out of the team. Will it happen? No. I would love to see that for a myriad of reasons.
So you don't believe in the Alex Freeland portion for 26,
I saw Jasmine in the chat mention it. I'm sure that's a common theme, I think, among Dodgers.
We just haven't seen it yet, but you don't believe that in 26, 27, that could be the guy if Muncie is.
If Freeland was going to be like a realistic option for this team, I think they would have called him up already. Obviously, they've already kind of, have him playing some more third base. He's playing mostly shortstop at OKC this year, but he's, since the Muncie injury, the last couple of games, played a lot more third base. I don't feel as the kids say, the Dodgers aren't giving that they are invested in Alex Freeland as a legitimate option. Glove will be great, but as a legitimate stopgap or fill in or replacement for Muncie's bat in that lineup.
So, I think that's one we're going to wait on. Certainly, the deadline is coming. Moves will have to be made. Certainly, we know pitching is going to be a big priority. But what they do, if they decide to do something, say with a corner infield spot, that's going to be something to sort of keep an eye on. So I want to share with you guys from my time on there on Saturday. Sat next to a couple that looked like a first date, second date, whatever. The woman didn't seem like a baseball fan. Like she knew nothing about the sport. But the guy knew only slightly more than her and was everything to her as it was happening. I remember I came back from getting something to eat for my kid, and I see him on his phone, and the first thing he says when I sit down is, "Oh, looks like the Astros are from Houston." And I sort of knew I was in for it at that point. I'm like, oh no. And so he's trying to explain baseball to her. And he's like, yeah, so you see the guy in the middle with the ball, he throws it. And then the guy standing there with the baseball, the stick, he tries to shoot the ball out to, and I'm just like, it's hurting my heart in so many ways to listen to this. And so he is making loud exclamations at things that are routine, like a pop-up to medium deep center field is caught, and he's like, oh, the guy caught it. I'm like, well, yeah, man. he wouldn't be playing at this level if he couldn't catch that, or like a foul ball just shot off to the right, and he's like, oh, look at that. I'm like, nothing is happening. And this was a really painful few innings before they got up and wandered who knows where.
Marcus, I think I found a picture of this guy, actually.
Okay, do you
want to take a look at the screen here?
Yes, please. You know what? Shockingly, he looked a lot like that guy. I'm not joking.
With the Oakleys and everything.
He didn't have the Oakleys, but yeah, he showed up in a sweater vest, and it was a whole
sweater vest in that heat. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. So Parker, I'm gonna ask you, because I know you are very much in the dating scene right now. Would you take a first date to Dodger Stadium, to a Dodger game?
Honestly, I don't think I could do first date. I would go maybe second or third, depending how that first date went. But there's a lot that goes into Dodger Stadium, and also it's I know Greg can attest to this. It's like our safe space for us here on the Blue Review. For you to be taken into the to a Dodger game with us, that's saying a lot. And I don't know if it's first date material. So maybe Greg, there could be some positives. I don't know.
Yeah. First date, I think that's way too fast to go to a Dodger game. It's expensive, it's long, and if it's not going well, you have to then sit there for either a good, and if you leave, You have to then go get in your car and be in the car for it's a whole mess. Like that's too much for me. But I think that, Marcus, what you're talking about is easily a top 3 annoyance for me at a Dodger game.
Mhm.
Somebody sitting behind me, explaining the game to another person. That it's just. And usually they're just so wrong. Everything they're saying is just absolutely wrong. You're sitting there like, oh my God, I know I can't listen to this anymore. I was in the World Series, game 1 of the World Series. There was a guy very, very loudly saying incorrect things over and over again. And I was like, I'm gonna rip my freaking hair out if this guy. And the Dodgers were losing at the time too, so it made it even worse. It was just that to me, when people are saying incorrect things at a baseball game and it's so far off. It's very frustrating.
It was everything in my power to just bite my tongue and not just be like, "You're wrong. You are blatantly wrong. Please get away from me." Like it was a
go somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, that's an interesting decision all around. Go there, likely a first date. Know nothing about the sport. I don't know about all that.
And then try to explain it to some. I mean, yeah. I guess she wouldn't know the difference because she knew nothing about baseball, so he could have said literally anything. And it probably would have sounded okay, but yeah.
I believe they call that mansplaining. So
yeah,
good on that guy, you know, 100%. Making us all look good.
100%. Jasmine saying it can't be a first date; it's got to be like the third or further date out. That seems pretty reasonable.
I hope they live a very happy life together, being just absolutely wrong about everything.
And just nowhere near me. That's fine.
Right.
Exactly. Do your thing.
That's the next question I would have is like, do they ever see each other again?
Right.
I wonder if she actually knew everything. It was just kind of like, let's see what you know about the game of baseball. Ooh, a pop-up. Wow.
At least she got a free game out of it.
Hey, hopefully she got something to eat and enjoyed her afternoon. That's all I can really say about that. Let's on a positive note though, as we get ready to wrap this one up. By the way, the Dodgers head now to Milwaukee for what should be another really tough series against a Brewers team that is playing very, very well right now. So something to certainly keep an eye on. We will talk about that. But the All-Star rosters are out now, and the Dodgers do get 5. The starters were, as we expected, you get Freddie Freeman, you get Mookie Betts, you get Will Smith, all starting. And then on top of it, Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Clayton Kershaw gets named to his 11th All-Star team. We're in the text chat, and Parker, you texted. I was actually streaming the game, so I was sort of behind, and the tweet from Alden Gonzalez saying that Clayton Kershaw had been named to an All-Star, and I was like, this can't be real. And then moments after that, I see it show up on the broadcast. Clint, we were talking about this. Have you ever heard of a legend pick for the All-Star game?
Yeah, it's some kind of I'm not a big fan of it. I would prefer Kershaw, probably not be in this one, but I think they did that a couple seasons ago when it was like Albert Pujols' last season, Miguel Cabrera's last season. I think those were commissioners' picks. Maybe they called it commissioners' picks before, but now it's a legend pick, which that just also feels weird. Feels weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can't call a commissioner's pick because no one likes the commissioner, so that probably doesn't work so well. So you have to kind of change it. Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. He just hit 3,000 strikeouts. There's a good chance he may be the last pitcher to do it, certainly for a long time. This very well could be his last All-Star appearance. So I guess in that way, it's sort of a tip the cap thing to Kershaw, but certainly more deserving guys. I mean, Parker, how heartbroken are we that no Andy Pages on this All-Star team this year?
I was just going to get to this, and I know, Greg, you got a little bit more to speak on it as well. Listen, we are the Blue Review, and I get that if a Padre fan ever ends up in here, well, first off, I don't know what you're doing in here, but this is just an objective truth. The fact that Machado made it, okay, having a good year. But the fact that Tatis made it over Andy Pages, I think is just inexcusable. And you could just look at the stats directly on paper. Pages deserves to be an All-Star. We were soapboxing. We were talking about it all week. It's insane. I'm going to be talking about it all day with everybody back here and just hoping that maybe I hope nobody's injured. I know there's already some injuries, so there might be some things that change, but Pages should have been on there, Greg.
Yeah, so I understand the outfield reserves for the most part. Corbin Carroll, really, really good. Makes sense. Fine. Kyle Stowers, I understand, because you have to have one player on from every single team, and Miami doesn't have anybody but Kyle Stowers. James Wood, same deal with Washington. They have nobody else, so James Wood, who actually destroyed baseballs against the Dodgers multiple times this year.
He's good. Yeah.
He's good, yeah. So he gets in the outfield spot. I get all of that. Tatis doesn't make any sense to me because overall, like Parker was saying, the numbers are just not there. If you already have a Padre in Machado, then you don't actually need Tatis in there. Is it just for the name itself? Because every single stat besides WAR, Andy Pages is having a better year, and we're talking defensively too. His defensive numbers are better than Tatis's defense numbers. His offensive numbers, he has more hits, more home runs, more RBIs, a better batting average, a better slugging percentage, a better OPS number, a better OPS plus. Everything else, everything that is there, is better. The only thing that Tatis is better at is WAR, plate appearances, stolen bases, and on-base percentage. And that's it. And this on-base percentage, not that big of a difference. So Pages absolutely got snubbed. Tatis got put in there just because of his name alone, because he has not been good this year besides just getting on base.
I would say this. Apparently, Andy Pages needs to have himself a good, solid PED suspension under his belt to be able to get some love and respect in this game.
It was his barber.
My ringworm. Inject some ringworm cream into me.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, considering the way he's hit pretty much since that suspension, he should get his money back because it just
no lasting side effects.
It hasn't quite worked out for him at all. But we will certainly be cheering on the Dodgers that will be in Atlanta for the All-Star game. And who knows? Yeah, maybe somebody decides to sit out because of a nagging injury, just wants the rest. And maybe hopefully that opens up a spot for Andy Pages because he is absolutely deserving to be among the All-Stars this year in Atlanta for sure. Clint, always great to chat with you on a Monday. So, folks, what you got going on?
We'll be live again today at noon o'clock Pacific time, Dodgers territory. Myself, Alana Rizzo, and we are welcoming a great palate cleanser to the show. Dodger Stadium DJ Severe, talking about all things Dodgers.
Fantastic. Should be a lot of fun, so be sure to check that out for sure. Dodgers in action today, 4:40 Pacific time start against Milwaukee. Ellen Kershaw certainly happy she didn't have to pick up and pack the kids up and fly to Milwaukee because her husband got 3,000 strikeouts at home last week. So we're back to talk with you about that, of course, tomorrow, 8:30 to 8:55, as always, here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. Travis and DeMarco. We still have 2 minutes left. I'm looking at the clock here. I'm going to try to filibuster for anybody have any interesting things.
Yeah, here's my best Jose Ramirez talking to Freddie. Freddie, you're one of the best hitters besides me.
Oh, that's a Cody right there. That's a Cody Lou.
I had to do it for him.
I know. Yeah. Go glove.
Fantastic. So anyway, Travis and DeMarco coming up next here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel, and for you old school folks on the radio as well, you can check them out. In the meantime, that'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review. By the way, I should give a shout out to LAX. I did not do that. Apologies. They, of course, as always, transform the travel experience, saving guest time. Look forward to the People Mover train, which should be coming hopefully early next year. For more information, you go to flylax.com/transforminglax. Thanks to everybody in the chat, as always, for hanging out, for your input. We are certainly appreciative of all of that. For Parker, for Greg, for Clint, I am Marcus. This has been the Blue Review, presented by LAX. We will see you right back here tomorrow. See you, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
See you. Hey.